Today I'm going to show you guys how I print my photographs and take you guys through the entire process, starting in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so let me just start off by saying, if you do end up printing yourself at home, just know that ink is going to be the most annoying in the entire world. Now before we talk about the equipment I use, I want to address first and foremost, is printing worth it at home opposed to getting it outsourced or just done by a different lab? And my answer to that is pretty simple. It all depends on the photographer and what they're going to be using those prints for, or the printer. Now, you guys know for a fact that these printers cost a lot of money, and not only do they cost a lot of money, you also have to always buy ink, you always have to buy paper, and with that said, it adds up quickly. When there are countless of companies out there that are more than happy to just print your photographs and have them shipped to your front door, it's really cheap as well. And when you compare printing at home versus getting it outsourced, it really kind of does seem like getting it outsourced is the better deal. Now here's the decision you have to make. Do you want to get the best deal on your photography prints, or do you want to be able to print your photographs conveniently? The main reason why people buy these printers are because, one, they get to print it right here and they can control every single variable, to the texture of the paper, the way the ink spills onto the paper, even the way the photographs look when you're editing on there, so you can get the results you want every single time. And for convenience sake, if they have a photograph that they just took and they want to print it out, literally you go to the printer, you pop it into your programs, and it's out in 20 to 30 seconds. Whereas opposed to getting your prints outsourced, you will, one, have to wait for it, which can be a little annoying, and two, you're not getting the full experience as well as being able to control every variable. And if you're really particular on how your final product looks like at the very end, I would highly recommend not getting your photographs outsourced and just printing at home. Now, this particular printer can print up to 13 by 19, which is pretty big. But for the most part, the biggest I've ever printed was 11 by 14. 11 by 14 is already large in itself, and it's a pretty standard and good size for prints to put up on the wall. Now, when it comes to paper, I really do like using a variety, and sometimes it changes, but the three main papers that I always will have on me on deck are Palo Duro Soft Gloss Rag, which is very similar to almost like a luster finish and has a little gloss as well. Absolutely my favorite paper. This one as well is something that I've grown to recently love. It's the Aurora Art Natural 285. And the last one is this Finstra Art Burita Fine Art. This is 11 by 14, and this is what I use to print all of my bigger photographs. So that pretty much sums it up for equipment. It's pretty simple. We got the Canon Pro 10 and we have that paper that I just showed you guys. So let's move on into step 2, printing the photograph. Alright, so today we're going to be printing out a photograph that I made actually in the last video of a bunch of birds flying in the midst of a really foggy morning in San Francisco. Actually, let me find that. I don't know where it is. Which one is the file? Alright, so it's going to be this photograph right here. Now, generally, the first thing that I would do is I would go in and make all of my edits through Lightroom, and then I would import the photograph to Photoshop. Now, as for adjustments, most of my adjustments are going to be made when I'm editing, but there is one thing that I do, and that is over sharpen. And depending on what software you use, it's pretty simple to just find the tool setting and then to find sharpness. So I will always sharpen that just a little bit, because when you're printing photographs, especially on a larger paper, you're gonna need that extra sharpness to kind of stand out and make the photograph more crisp. Now here is your basic prompt for printing. And like I said, today we're printing with the 11 by 14. So for paper size, I'm gonna go for 11 by 14. But one thing that I want you guys to pay attention to is the border. Always put a 2-inch border on all 4 sides of the image so that it results in an image looking like this one right here. So 2-inch here, and I think this is actually 1.5, so 2 inches and 1.5 on the sides. That way when I ship the photograph to the customer, it's up to them completely if they want to still put a mat on it, or it could just directly go into a frame and it'll already have the borders around it for the photograph. Alright folks, there she is. a nice, beautiful, clean slate. We're gonna go ahead and just drop that in there. We're now ready to go. We have the borders done. We have the ICC profile selected. We have the paper loaded. The next step here, folks, is just to hit print. And there you go, folks. That is how I print my photographs from home. I think the purpose for today's video is just to show you guys how I print my photographs from home and why maybe it can be convenient for the photographer that literally will be using this all the time. Now, I'm gonna say this, and I know it's very cliche, but when you print your photographs and you hold them into your hands, it's just a completely different experience. And the fact that you can do that at home, and you know, if you save your pennies up, you can get a printer like this and print at your will. You'll be printing all night long and you're gonna get addicted to it. And there's nothing like seeing your photograph in a frame, not only in just your house, but maybe and possibly in other people's houses as well. I'm telling you right now, guys, you're gonna get addicted to it and you're gonna really enjoy it if you end up getting a printer and printing for yourself at home. So that is how I print my photographs. Hope you enjoyed it, man. And I'll see you guys in the next one.